Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about 13 problems only highly sensitive people understand. Number one, crowds equal energy overload. It could be concerts, it could be going to the grocery store that is super crowded. It could be going shopping in a shopping mall that's very crowded. Any place that is crowded is going to feel extremely overwhelming to us. And the reason is that we're picking up on everybody's energy. We're picking up on everybody that's going around us. If they're sad or if they're happy, if they're excited, we are picking up on all of their energy. And also, we are picking up on all the various things that are going on in our environment. We're very observant people and we process everything on a very deep level. So, we're picking up a lot of details that non highly sensitive people don't pick up on. So, all of that is a lot of stimulation that's coming at us, and then it can become very overwhelming. That's only if you don't know how to balance your nervous system. Once you know how to balance that, it won't be overwhelming or overstimulating. And if it does become overstimulating, you have the tools to bring back your nervous system to a balanced state. So this is problem number one. Number two is that you need time to recover, even when you're having fun, even if everything is a non-stressful, fun, exciting, energizing, it's still, you will still need some time to yourself just to relax and decompress and settle down. And so you let your nervous system to a balanced state. And so again, this it can be just going to work, having a stressful day, or it could be going to a friend's house where there's a lot of fun and excitement and stimulation. There, either way, you will need some time to yourself. So this is a very normal for highly sensitive people to need that downtime and that me time to decompress. Number three is criticism feels like a punch in the gut. It really hurts. And it's the reason behind it is because we're born to be very, very self critical people and very, very perfectionist people. And as I've worked on myself all my life not to be a perfectionist, and I still have some perfectionist tendencies in me. They're very little, but they're still present. So when somebody criticizes us, it feels very painful only because we've already spent so much time on ourselves and self-improvement, always criticizing ourselves and help, like, which helps us then become a better person. And because we're doing all that work, it's kind of like we're not expecting somebody else to come in and criticize us, even when their criticism is light-hearted. Even if it's constructive, it still hurts. And so you just have to learn how to not let it affect you like that, not let it have that type of impact on you. So if this resonates with you so far, you might be a highly sensitive person. If you're wondering if you are a highly sensitive person, you can book a complimentary session with me and find out if you're highly sensitive. And if you want to work with me, we can work together to make sure that you're not just surviving in life, that you're thriving. So number four is you notice a micro changes, like somebody comes and tells you, you ask them, how are you? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm fine. But then you notice that their jaw is clenched. So you notice those kind of micro movement that even the person that's telling you they're fine, they may not realize that they're clenching their teeth and or their jaw, and you notice it. And so the problem is not that you notice these micro changes. Actually, that's a great thing. But the problem becomes when you think that, did I do something to cause that? Did I upset them? Did I say something? Did I do something? And so you take it kind of personally, and you kind of ruminate about whether it was you that caused them to have those emotions or not. And that's where the problem comes in. Number five is your empathy is on full time. So, you don't just, when somebody is in pain, you don't just say, observe their pain, but you actually feel it in your own body. So if they're sad, you'll feel their sadness as if it's your own body that's sad. You do recognize that it's not you, it's somebody else's, but yeah, you feel their emotion just as strongly as they feel it themselves. You feel it in your body. So your empathy is at the next level. And then number six is loud noises actually hurt you. And this is what I like to say is like actual, it actually physically hurts you. Like, you know how people run their fingernails on a chalkboard and that gives you that cringy feeling in your body. That's how it is for us when we feel, when we hear something that's super loud, like a siren or bark that's really loud or high pitch or anything that we find. Everybody's different. So whatever it is that we find to be loud is actually we're feeling that in our body and it hurts. It's not just an annoyance. Number seven is watching the news can break you. I was told many, many years ago, probably now 20 years ago, not to watch the news because I found it to be super disturbing. It would cause me not to sleep at night. It would cause me to be sad and grieve for people that I don't even know. Like if somebody lost somebody and they showed it on the news, I would be grieving with them and feeling their sadness and getting sad with them. And my doctor recommended that I would not watch the news. And at the time, I thought, how silly, everybody needs to watch the news. We need to be up to date with what's going on in the world, what's going on in our communities, and all that. But after I started, following his recommendation, I felt better. I was able to sleep at night very well, and I didn't have any disturbances in my sleep, no nightmares, things like that. And so I realized that he was right, and I continued that. And to this day, I don't watch the news. And if I do, it's very, very seldom. But I still get the news from, you know, socializing with people. People tell me what's going on and what they've heard. So I do get the news, but it doesn't have the same impact as it does if I actually got it from the news channels. So that's something that you might want to consider. Number eight is you play conversations in your head forever. Like you could have had a conversation that was disturbing to you 4 hours ago and it could still be running in your head. You might be like thinking about it, rerunning the whole conversation in your head. And the reason you're doing that is you're wondering if you caused that emotion in that person, like that negative emotion in that person, or if you caused them the pain or you caused them to react the way they did. And so you take it personally. And this could have happened 4 years ago. And today you could still be replaying that conversation in your head. It sounds funny, and like to people who don't have this, who are non-highly sensitive, they might think, oh, that's craziness. That's such a waste of your energy power. But it's something that we don't necessarily have control over it because it's part of our nervous system, right? It's just the way we're wired is that, and everything is interconnected, our depth of processing, our empathy, our noticing things, details that a lot of people would miss, all of this is combined together that cause us to react in these ways. So it's not like just one thing that leads to it, it's many things that lead to us wanting to rerun the conversation in our head. And number nine, you're deeply moved by beauty. So this could be a piece of art, could be music, it could be a symphony, it could be a movie. It can move you a lot, and you can get very emotional, even sometimes teary, just by the mere beauty of whatever it is that you're looking at. And this is like, to me, this is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful aspect of being a highly sensitive person, but it could be problematic because of our culture. It doesn't really celebrate people getting emotional over things like this. So people might look at you like there's something weird about you. So we then internalize that. So that's why it's a problem. And then number 10, you feel responsible for other people, even when it's not necessary. It's not you who should feel responsible. For example, someone might come to the office and they're not feeling well, like they're feeling sad or they're feeling angry or they're emotional in some way, and that's not their norm. So you're like, oh, they're acting differently today. And then you think, oh, did I say something? Did I upset them? And then you start thinking about your whole interaction with that person that entire day to figure out whether you're responsible for the way they're acting and the way they're behaving. And yeah, and that, that can really deeply impact you as well. And then number 11 is you can't just let things go. A lot of people will tell you, oh, just let it go. You don't need to carry that with you. It's not, it's not that big of a deal. And we just can't let it go because that's part of who we are. That's when something happens, like especially when there's an injustice in the world, you really feel like you want to do something about it. You can't just let that go. You will think about that injustice and it would bother you and it would really impact you on a deep level. And where other people can just let it go and walk away from it, you can't walk away from it. You want to try to take action or think about how it's possible for you to help. And then number 12 is multitasking feels super chaotic to you. So for me, because of my career, I have had to learn to multitask without it getting chaotic for me or without it feeling chaotic. But a lot of highly sensitive people just, they don't like multitasking. And multitasking could also be, for example, it's not necessarily just you yourself doing multiple things at the same time, but it could be that somebody's asking you, multiple people are asking you to do something all at once. Like a good example is my parents. I go to my parents' house and my dad could ask me to do something, and my mom at the same exact time will ask me to do something. And sometimes they talk over each other. And to me, that's super overwhelming because I can't, first of all, listen to both of them at the same time. And second of all, I can't do the things that they're asking me to do at the same time. So it can become very overwhelming for me. And then number 13, people think you're too sensitive. You might hear, oh, you're so sensitive. Oh, why don't you just let it go? Why do you need to be that sensitive? Or, it's not that big of a deal. Just let it go. And this could be super annoying when people tell you this, but try to take it in a lighthearted way and just know that they probably don't know that you're a highly sensitive person. They don't even know that such a thing exists. So 9 out of 10 times, I bet you that people will not know what high sensitivity is about. So here's your chance to educate people. And so that the more people know about it, hopefully the more people will embrace it and see it as the beauty that it is. So if any of this resonates with you, please like this video, drop a comment, let me know which ones resonated with you. If you want to see if you're a highly sensitive person, or if you want to book and you already know you're a highly sensitive person and you just want to book a coaching session with me so I can help you live your best life. Thanks. See you in the next video.